Welcome back to Gun and Shot TV, and today we're going to talk about yet another exciting collector item that you don't necessarily see often, but occasionally will pop up in gun show bargain bins, or you'll see some online. A lot of times they're listed incorrectly, so you may get a pretty good deal on them. And what I'm talking about is Sweetheart grips. Now, if you look closely, you can see the grip is clear plastic. Well, this is your standard grip. This is your Sweetheart grip that's installed. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can get a little better idea of exactly what these are. So as you can see, the grips are made of clear plastic. I'm going to try and make it so it's not glaring and reflecting. And where these came about is during World War II, much like trench art during World War I, evolving into an art form. These were made by soldiers who would get pieces of plexiglass from wherever. Now, I've heard one of the leading sources of scrap plexiglass during the war was downed fighter planes or bombers or stuff like that. They'd take the pieces of plexi out of the canopies or the windshields, and if you had access to some sandpaper or some tools, you could work that down into a grip shape. Now, what you'll see with a lot of these is you'll actually see a picture. A lot of times, and the reason it's called a Sweetheart grip is they would put a picture of their girlfriend or their wife or whoever back home so they could look at it. And these aren't specifically limited to 1911s. Occasionally, you'll see a revolver, a 1917 revolver or an M&P revolver that has clear plexi grips with a picture under it. But with the 1911 platform, you do get one added benefit, and that is on the side of your magazine where you can see there's little cutouts. When you put the mag in, if you had clear grips, you could see, it's very difficult to do that backwards, you could see exactly how many rounds up to a certain point. So at a glance you could see, okay, well, I know I have at least a full load, or I have at least 2 or 3 in the mag. It kind of is limited unless you slotted the frame a little higher so you could see, or even it would be helpful if you slotted the magazine. Later, there was a pistol in the 80s called an ASP that was a modified Smith & Wesson 9mm auto, and that actually had the same type of clear grips and a slotted magazine so you could keep an eye. Those are really neat pistols. They also have a unique gutter sighting system along the top of the slide, so if you ever see one of those, check it out. Google around if you're not familiar with them. So that was a pretty interesting little feature you had, so you could see how many rounds you had, or if you wanted to be sentimental, you could put your Sweetheart's picture. As I said, these were made, let me double check it's empty here. These were made ideally on, in the field from scrounged materials. Now, after the war, there's also the possibility people made them out of plexiglass. So you never actually know if what you're getting is a legit, trench art vintage piece, or if it's a later one. I'm sure at some point there were even commercial makers of these grips. They're not going to be stamped because obviously they're clear grips. So if they stamped them, you'd see them. So it's kind of hard to authenticate if these are real. I found this pair of grips with some textured grips on eBay for pretty cheap, and these look like somebody made them by hand. They're pretty poorly made, or somebody maybe was trying to use these as a pattern to make these finger groove clear grips. They're not even finished, like you couldn't fit them. You'd have to drill out the mounting holes a little bit more. So I don't know, maybe they hit a snag where they didn't even fit right or something. I don't know. I got the whole set of grips, 2 different sets of grips for like $10 on eBay, so I don't really know much more about them than that. Obviously, I don't have a picture in here. I don't actually want to use these because they'll just get scratched up and beat up, and they already have a little bit of wear. But I bought them because I thought they were a neat piece to have in the collection of random gun stuff. So if you ever see some of these, now you know they're Sweetheart grips. If you have a 1911, one of the joys of the 1911 platform is you can go through and get all kinds of cool custom grips. So that's kind of neat, and this is just one of those different examples of what you could throw on your 1911. So I hope you learned a little bit about Sweetheart grips. If you're looking for a pair, like I said, eBay, junk bins at gun shops or gun shows. You may find some for a revolver. Those could be, like I said, they could be milsurp. I think in the movie Fury, Brad Pitt's 45 revolver actually had sweetheart grips. But other than that, for Gun and Shot TV, this is Chris saying thanks for watching. And make sure if you like the videos, click like. If you don't, click dislike. I'm interested in your feedback. Leave me some comments, what you liked, what you didn't like. And make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching.